Imagine if you could save yourself from embarrassment, internal pain, and the catastrophic vortex that rejection sensitivity dysphoria sends so many of us into. In this video, I am going to share 3 tips on how to deal with RSD when she rears her ugly head. So stick around to the end so you get all of these steps that you can implement today, right now, that are completely ADHD friendly. My name is Sara Kelly, and I'm an ADHD mindset coach, and I release videos every week around everything ADHD and mindset. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the bell to make sure you don't miss any notifications when I release videos every week. Let's get into it. So what exactly is rejection sensitivity dysphoria, or RSD? It's actually a term that was coined by William Dodson, and it's not currently in the DSM, the diagnostic criteria for ADHD, but there's a huge correlation between ADHDers feeling the effects of rejection sensitivity dysphoria. In a nutshell, it is perceived or actual rejection from others, or it can even be a rejection of ourselves, which can manifest as people-pleasing and a lack of healthy boundaries. And that's cited from Attitude magazine. Part of our executive dysfunction as ADHDers is we tend to go from action to reaction. A neurotypical person will take in external stimuli, and they have this really cool filtration system that we have a delay on that gives them time to process an event before reacting to it. We tend to also be more rigid in our thinking. Additionally, we have had so much more trauma next to a neurotypical person because of the isms of our ADHD. As a child, I was told that I was too sensitive, that I could be too much, and these things really stuck with me. It almost made me not feel safe to be reactive, but at the same time, ready for rejection around every corner, because a lot of times the neurotypical peanut gallery had no problem telling me that maybe I was too much or not enough or lazy or anything in between. If you can relate to any of this, let me know in the comments what sticks the most so far for you. I like to think about it like this. Think of a neurotypical person as an automatic vehicle. When you have an automatic vehicle versus a stick shift, when you go up a hill or down a hill, the vehicle automatically shifts gears for you. You don't have to think about that. You don't have to go, okay, I'm going down a hill, I need to shift up or down, or vice versa. I like to think of an ADHD brain as a stick shift. We have the hardware to get there. We just need to be more manual, more mindful about our actions. And this is why I'm so passionate about ADHD mindset coaching, because we do have the same capabilities as neurotypical people, but I like to think of our brain as more of a stick shift where we have to gear up and gear down automatically, because we don't have that automatic engine like a neurotypical person has. The first tip is the power of the pause. And this is where we're really taking that stick shift brain and manually stopping before reacting. I like to use the power of the pause for a 24-hour period when I feel the effects of RSD. So maybe a friend doesn't text me back as quickly as I think they should, or I get a short answer from somebody and then I immediately go to, they're mad at me, they must not like me. Before reacting or before getting angry or anything like that, taking a 24-hour pause so that we can step back and take perspective is super helpful. So what do we do in this 24 hours? Basically anything to get your mind off of what you are, worrying about, what you are feeling rejected about. You can go for a walk. Being outside in nature is a great way to produce natural dopamine. You can take some cold water and splash it on your face, or take an ice pack and put it on your cheeks and your neck. That is another great way to regulate your nervous system. You can also put on a funny movie. Sometimes just getting your mind off things is super helpful, and it gives you time to take perspective. Now, if you are going to use the power of the pause the next time RSD shows shows up for you, hit that like button, share it with another ADHDer who you love. Let's push this video out to more people in the algorithm so that less people suffer with the effects of RSD. All right. Step number 2 is becoming the detective to your RSD. Now stick with me for a second. When we are feeling the effects of RSD, we're very much in our emotional brain. And when we are in our emotional brain and we are in that, heightened state, it is really, really hard to take perspective. So even if you could just bring a little bit of that analytical brain to meet your emotional brain, if you think of it like a teeter-totter and the emotional brain has all the weight and the analytical brain is, not, bringing in a little bit of that analytical brain can just balance you out a little bit. And so when I say to become the detective, I'm just going to break this down for you. What I mean is if you were an actual detective, if that was the industry that you chose to work in, law enforcement, that was a career you chose, and you were called to a crime scene, you would not go to that crime scene and say, well, I feel like this person's a bad person based on some kind of external profile that they have, or I don't know, maybe it was probably an accident. There would be no emotions behind it. You would go in a very analytical sense to investigate the crime scene. So you would be dusting for prints, talking to people for alibis, collecting DNA, and measuring motive. That is what I'm saying when you feel the effects of RSD, is taking that step back when you're utilizing the power of the pause, our first step, and becoming that detective to your internal dialogue. Because a lot of times the things that we say to ourselves are blanket statements. And what a blanket statement is it is a statement that reaches far larger than is actually true. So saying things like everybody hates me or nobody likes me, I do everything wrong, I always screw everything up. These are blanket statements. And so if you become the detective to the nonsense that we spew to ourselves and say, okay, let's go with the everybody hates me one. Does everybody really hate me? Or is it just that one person at the water cooler that I maybe had a bad encounter with? Or maybe am I, making this up in my head because I've been hurt so many times before. I'm scared to put myself out there. I'm scared of being rejected again. So inviting that logical brain or that detective into the conversation that you're having with yourself when you're feeling the effects of RSD can really kind of talk us off the ledge until we're able to calm down. Now let's get into the final step that I want to share with you today, and that is the benefit of the doubt theory. It's kind of like becoming the detective, but it's almost doing the flip-flop of our internal dialogue. So when we say someone didn't text us back and, oh my gosh, they must hate me, why not give that person the benefit of the doubt? Maybe that person did not text you back because they have ADHD and they did text you back, but they forgot to press send on the text. I don't know if you've ever done this. I have done this a ton. If you can resonate with that, please comment. And I love responding to comments on these videos. Or maybe they got really busy or they had some kind of an emergency. Coming off the, catastrophic vortex, the massive feelings of RSD is really trying to bring some logic, some benefit of the doubt into that internal narrative that we are holding on to, into these blanket statements that reach far wider than is actually true. Anytime you can challenge some of your thoughts, especially if they are limiting, then you can get out of those big, really difficult feelings quicker and faster. Now, are some people just not nice people? Yes. And that is a boundaries issue. And I will be coming out with a boundaries video in the next couple of weeks. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, subscribe to this video, like it, Share it with anybody who you think would get value from it. And don't forget to value yourself. You are valuable. You are valid. Your feelings are valid. Our ADHD brains are very different than a neurotypical brain. We are not broken. We are just basically a square. You think about a square cylinder that is trying to fit into a circle, which is neurotypical society. It doesn't fit. And so sometimes we are misunderstood and all of these things, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we are still intelligent people. We are still passionate and loving people. We just have a different way of processing emotions than neurotypical people have. Below this video, I have a complimentary masterclass that goes over the 5 pillars to creating lasting change, to looking at life through a more optimistic lens without any kind of overwhelm. It is completely ADHD friendly. I created it for myself so that I could get out of my own way to become a happier, more productive person. So if you'd like, click the link below and register for that masterclass. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.